Did someone turn out the heater in this room? Or hi and welcome to this Hot One Challenge. My name is Enzo. For those who don't know me, I'm the CEO and co-founder of June, the next-gen analytics for B2B SaaS. And today, Louis Copé is with me. Thanks for coming, Louis.
Thanks for having me.
You are a VC. You're a partner at a fund called Point 9 Capital, which is a EU-based firm. You are also, in my opinion, one of the most promising and talented investors of your generation, because there's a lot of talented people. You're also one of our investors. You led our seed round something around 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So you and I, we had a lot of opportunities to meet and discuss.
But never to have chicken.
But this is the first time we're doing the chicken together.
Yes.
So are you familiar with the concept of the Hot One Challenge?
So not really. I just say yes to whatever you ask me to do. So I have to admit, I actually never watched any YouTube videos of what's going to happen to me right now.
Okay.
But I like risks and I like new experiences, so happy to do that.
So I'm going to ask you 10 questions.
Yeah.
And for each of the questions, you're going to have to try a spicy sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And one question at a time, we're going to go up and up on the scale of spiciness.
Yeah.
How familiar are you with spicy food? Like, do you eat spicy food?
Actually, so I'm from Paris. I was raised in a family where like my mother was doing a lot of like cooking experiences, but really never with spices. Like I'm just really not used to spicy sauce. So let's see how it goes. I lived for a bit in South Africa and I was having a little bit of piri-piri sauce there.
Nice.
So this one I know.
Yep.
And beyond that is basically completely unknown territory. So I'm a bit scared, but yeah, let's give it a try.
Have you heard about the Scoville scale?
No, never.
Okay.
Oh, never before today.
It's basically the scale that is used, one of the two main scales, basically, to measure how spicy is a spicy sauce. What do you think of the sauce?
I actually like this sauce.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, see? I'm gonna show you a picture, and I want you to tell me what you see on that picture.
Okay, so it's a picture of Christophe and Pavel, who are my partners at Point 9, I think back in 2011. So they just had started Point 9, and I think it's from a German newspaper that says like 2 German angels are flying to Silicon Valley. And I think if you look at the background of this picture, you actually have San Francisco. It was like 2 young guys coming from Berlin, funding startups anywhere in the world, and kind of going to the US to explain how, you know, what that SaaS and marketplaces, which were kind of the core thesis of Point 9 at the beginning, would change the world. And obviously today it's a little bit more obvious, but back then it was not. What I like a lot with this picture is like the smiles that they have, and also the fact that they, at the time, but still today, never took themselves very seriously. I have to admit that I could not feel the spice of the first one, but now I feel it.
Now you feel it, yeah. So it builds up, right?
Yes.
The spice kicks in, and some just wait a long time before they kick in.
I put a lot.
Yeah, I see where you're going. I'm gonna go with you on that. Okay, I'll finish the first one then, and I'm gonna put a lot too. I think this one is very flavory. One question I wanted to ask you is maybe related to Point 9 or other previous experiences you had. What is the best advice you've got for life?
Yeah, for life, I don't know, like it's such a broad topic, but let's say for my job, but I think it does apply to life as well. Like, so I told you quickly, like I got promoted to partners after 3.5, 4 years.
How old were you at this time?
I think I was 28 or 29. And I was definitely not ready to be a partner, but I guess they took a bet on me, which was cool. But in the last kind of feedback review session that I had before becoming a partner, Christophe was like, there is one thing that you need to be aware of, which is this concept of the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is, and the principles is, the more you know, the more you realize that you don't know. And I think it's, and so that's one way, if you look at the Wikipedia answer of what the Dunning-Kruger effect is, they will tell you that, you know, at the beginning you're overconfident, and it's like this Gartner hype cycle thing, you know? At the beginning you're overconfident, you're at the top of the hype, which is probably where I was when I got promoted to partner, like I know everything about everything, I'm gonna make it great. And then Christophe told me, but just be aware of this. And what that means is that as you start knowing more and more, actually you realize that you don't know that much and you go much lower than when you are at the beginning. And you need to actually rebuild that confidence, doing the job more and more and more. And I tend to think that it's a great principle in life.
And you had it, you said, in South Africa?
Yeah, so I lived in South Africa for a few months, actually. And this we had a lot. My friend Moritz, who's also the co-founder of this company called Cargo One that I've been working with for quite some time, is a crazy fan of this. Like we would cook omelets and just eat it with piri piri almost every day.
Amazing.
And it was, during COVID, so we were just cooking omelets and doing piri piri sauce. And they were also raising their Series B at the time, so it's a fun memory for me. Yeah, I think this is my favorite.
What's the worst job that you had? So we talk about .9 a lot. You did other stuff in your life.
Mm-hmm.
What was the worst looking back?
So I worked for a French venture capital firm for a few months, which is more or less my first job. And after that, I was supposed to come here to Berlin to study at TU Berlin, Technische Universität Berlin. But I had liked so much working that I really wanted to keep working. So I applied at Rocket Internet back then, which was kind of the fastest way to get a job from Paris, but in Berlin.
Yep.
And it was almost too straightforward. So I just did one interview, sent my CV, they gave me a job. And I landed in Berlin. I don't really have an apartment. And I just need to go start working for Rocket Internet. But you don't really work for Rocket Internet where you work when you apply at Rocket Internet, they put you into a specific startup. And you're going to work for this business called Nestpeak, which was a student accommodation marketplace. And your job is going to be to do SEO. I had no clue what SEO was about, but it was not even about putting keywords into, which is an important part of building a business. It was just about writing articles that French people could be interested in so that it would drive traffic to the student accommodation marketplace. First job that I had was, write an article about 10 things to do in Paris because we wanted to expand in Paris. So I was just going through blog posts and guys to say, you should go to Eiffel Tower or you should go to Sacré-Cœur, etc. So I did this for 10 days and at the time I was just hosted by a friend who had we say WG here, which is like a co-living apartment, shared apartment. And after 10 days I was like, I'm not going to do this. And I actually quit and started working for another company where I met the co-founders of Cargo One. So it was actually a cool experience, and I didn't go to university that much back then.
Pitch deck. Okay, I think now the fancy stuff is probably like a Notion doc or whatever, but in general, you receive docs of people that want to build businesses, raise money, convince you to be part of their journey. What is the most what the fuck situation you've had when assessing a business or an investment opportunity?
Yeah. If you position it this way, I think depending on the trends, you always have kind of new ways to present businesses. I remember, so when I was studying in the US, I took a class on blockchain called Blockchain Decentralized Everything. It was in 2015, it was awesome. Nice. I learned a lot back then. And when I joined .9, I was like, I'm going to reuse the knowledge that I knew about blockchains to start doing crypto-related investments. And it was kind of one of the first booms of crypto. And I'm very bullish on crypto in the long run, but I think at some point, Union Square Venture in the US made this thing in 2016-17 actually, when I was started at .9 saying like, crypto is going to be like this, but you're going to have these waves around crypto where like sometimes you're at the top of the hype and like everybody believes that it's going to change the world, and sometimes, which is more or less where we are today, nothing is happening and people think nothing is happening and it's like crypto is just not valuable. And when we were at the top of this hype in 2016 or 17, so this first wave, I remember that no crypto founder wanted to raise with a deck. So they would just send us super complicated white paper and say, look, if you don't understand the white paper, don't think about investing. So I was just like reading this white paper as when I was studying, like reading like research papers.
The white paper they wrote or the white paper from someone else?
No, the white paper they were writing about their business idea. Because when you study math or when you just write research paper, you write research paper in LaTeX, which is this kind of language in order to do the formatting of research paper. And at the time, most of the crypto founders would not send you DEX. They would send you LaTeX-based paper in black and white with no visuals whatsoever.
Wow.
And with complicated equations. And you had to understand this. And as we know, certain businesses got started there and are still very interesting businesses, but a lot of them were based on not super strong fundamentals.
I'm very happy I brought you to the restaurant today, Luis. I think I never brought you before, so this is my...
Yeah, it was about time.
This is about time, yeah. Allez, let's go. Let's go, Evie. Hop là.
People say that VCs go to fancy restaurants. We don't, but like having chicken with
chicken
so cheers.
Enjoys.
This is spicy.
I like to push it one step further and talk about the taboo.
Yeah.
There are some taboos, right, in every industry.
Yeah.
And the VC world is no exception. What is one taboo in VC?
I think maybe there are two. I need to not put my fingers into my eyes. So there is one taboo which is that it's actually very hard to provide great returns to LPs. So LPs are people investing into the venture fund, and they give us money for 10 plus years, and we commit to bringing them back at least 3 times what they gave us. The average return of the asset class, so venture capital, was actually negative. So people who are basically, at least in Europe, so people are basically coming into this industry knowing that it's basically a bad business. It's possible to have amazing returns in venture, but you need to go in the industry with the assumption that you're going to be significantly better than the average.
Interesting.
And it's difficult.
It's called the Heartbeat hot sauce, okay? And this one has some beetroot and lime taste. And we're doing a big step here because it is 66,000.
So we triple.
We're triple. And here's the step is happening right now.
Okay, so you know what? You tell me how much we put.
Okay, so a good amount. Maybe this. Maybe this. And then we can adapt.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, you have cream, you have honey. So far, you look very.
So far, I'm in control. Yes.
Exactly. You're very clear. So I think you can push it. Enjoy. You have a strong eco-consciousness.
I try.
You try. I learned that when we started to work together and I wanted to send you a t-shirt of June and you say, no, give it to me when we see each other. Yeah. I don't want you to send that by email. Yeah. Just a t-shirt, right? Which makes sense. Yesterday or 2 days ago, when you came to Berlin, you took the night train, right?
Yeah.
How long was it?
So it's like roughly 13 hours.
Beautiful.
And it was good. Love the night train to go to the mountains as well. Like you can leave at like 9 p.m. from Gare du Stalis and go skiing. We wake up in front of the mountains. It's not as nice when you wake up in like dark, gray Berlin like I did yesterday. But to be honest, it was quite good and I can sleep well in the train. So if I can, I'll do that. At the same time, let's be honest, I think it's very, very hard to do this job while being eco-conscious. I think my carbon footprint is just bad. And let's be honest, I do need to take the plane. I think it's very, very hard, borderline impossible to do this job while not flying. You need to understand what's happening in the US, you need to go visit businesses. But I do try to the extent that it's possible to eat chicken and not eat red meat.
This was bred, by the way, and grown in outdoor, and this chicken was had a very happy life.
Very good.
So far, so good, no?
So far, so good, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've been very...
We've been too careful, you think?
Too careful.
Too careful? Okay, let's be a bit more crazy. What usually you start crying at that time?
I think this is a good... For this one, I think this is good.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
I used much more than you did.
Did you? I'll do it again. Can you taste the garlic? You can tell the garlic, right?
Yeah.
Did someone turn out the heater in this room, or what's happening here?
Let's take it slow.
If you were a June feature, which one would you be and why?
I can't think about June now. No, I think I like two. I think the cockpit is very interesting. I think one of the insights is that if you look at the way, I mean, you taught me this, so I'm just gonna re-say, oh, it's difficult. Huh? What you said and what was the initial assumption of June is like, product analytics before was very much about analytics and quantitative stuff, about the way product was being used for people with analytical skills. That's amplitude, mixed panel, etc. I think the direction that you're heading into, and which is very, in my opinion, right and interesting, is to go beyond the quantitative metrics and try to give insights and signals not only to people with quantitative skills, but also with like a broader audience of people that should know how the product is being used. And you can argue that like every software company in the world doesn't exactly know well how their software is being used. The other one is like, I think analytics, turning my mouse now. Before.
You're doing really well, huh?
Yeah?
I can't understand what you're saying, but you're doing really well. I'm kidding.
I think the challenge with analytics before was that, turning my mouse, was that you needed to have these quantitative skills, and now with AI, you can turn natural language queries into code and therefore into ways to understand analytics much better. And I think this brings a very interesting access to these quantitative metrics to people that have absolutely no kind of coding or analytical skills. And I think that's where June AI is heading. And I think that's great.
So this one has a very relaxing name.
Yeah.
It's called Da Bomb. And there is a radioactive sign on it, right?
Uh-huh. Okay.
So we move from 70 to 135. So this one is definitely a big step. Usually, this is the biggest step, and here it's a bit more flat.
Okay.
So
this was already pretty strong, let's be honest.
This was strong.
Yeah, you started sweating.
Yeah, this was strong. This was strong. I told you this one is a tricky one.
Okay.
And see what happened. And I mean, the previous one was okay, right? It was a bit tough.
Yes, it was. I was burning my mouth.
But it was a bit tough. Is it okay?
Okay, you go full.
Yeah, why not?
You put a lot. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to go more?
No.
We're good? Allez, enjoy. Yeah. Tasty, huh?
I'm so fucking strong.
Very strong, huh?
Oh.
You taste the flavor or?
To be honest, I don't at that point. It's just strong. Not for you?
Pure spice. Same. A bit smoky, no?
Yeah, but it's burning my lips too. Not for you?
In my throat.
And if we have no milk anymore?
We have more milk.
Okay.
We have a bottle. What do you think of the taste? No taste, huh?
No.
Do you think the EU has a seat at the table of the AI world?
We get into complicated questions.
You have honey, you have bread. Bread is good.
Get bread.
Endorphins, right? This is strong, yeah. Forgot this one.
Yeah, so yeah, I think the EU obviously has a seat at the AI Act. So I studied math and physics, and then I went to engineering school in France. And actually, I studied computer science and mainly math, and so machine learning was the intersection of like math and computer science. And a few people in my class went to venture capital, but most of them went into machine learning. And I'm the same age as the guy who started Mistral in Paris,
The CTO?
the CEO, and I think it's the same. I think Mistral is the proof that you can build awesome businesses in AI out of Paris, or like it's early days, but I think they're on a very interesting path. Also, you have this thing called FAIR, you know, the Facebook AI Research Lab, which is largely based out of Paris. Yann Lequin
Yep.
is obviously French. So yes, I think the EU definitely has a seat in the AI, and maybe potentially even more in AI than in software.
Oof. The second time eat. Okay. Something something I wanted to ask is we've had this, I think, very healthy investor-founder relationship.
Yeah.
And I know you put a lot of thinking into
Yeah.
this topic, right? What's your view on a great investor-founder relationship?
I mean, we have spicy food.
This is a healthy one.
This is a super healthy one.
This is okay,
Yeah.
as good as it can get, right?
As good as it can get, for sure.
Okay.
Look. It's burning my mouth, and it's the most important question.
I think it's the time for you to have some honey.
Yeah, let's do honey. Honey.
See, you're really calling me honey. You want some?
Yes.
Allez.
Thank you.
Right also.
Wait,
Can you take it?
Can you keep it?
Yeah, I can keep it.
Look, hop là.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So look, founder,
That's good.
investor relationship, I think it's because we invest so early on, the journey will be long, the journey will be emotional, and there are going to be ups and downs. Your ups and downs will be like this. My up and down, ideally, they're like this. In such a way that when things are good, I can say, hey, you know what? Like, keep cool, or like it's still gonna be a long journey. But when things are not doing well, it's also my job to be like reconforting and also just trying to help you get perspective, because emotions are like this, and sometimes it kind of prevents you from seeing through like opportunities and risks. So I do think that my job is to be kind of a sounding board for entrepreneurs that are in the trenches, and to bring them an additional perspective that helps them going through the ups and downs of company building.
Okay, thanks for coming, Louis.
Yeah, it was great.
It was great to have you. Any flavor, any comment on the sauce?
It's just strong.
Just strong. Okay. Yeah, that's a good description.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the taste is gone, and yeah, I don't taste anything, to be honest. I don't know what's happening here.
Oh, no.
What's happening to us, Louis? The last question: if you could be remembered for one thing after you die, what would that thing be? What would you like that thing to be?
I think the relationship that you build along the way. So it's you.
Oh wow, we're getting emotional here.
No, yeah, look, I think financial success matters. It's kind of needed to be in this business. But I don't think that you're remembered for your financial success. I think you're remembered for the journey that you go through. So today was a step in our journey. I never had so much spicy food in one day.
And in your life, probably.
Exactly.
Congrats, you completed the challenge, man. What did you feel today?
Thanks for having me. I mean, it's burning in the inside. I thought I would cry, to be honest, but I did not, somehow. And I mean, maybe next time, this was very good.
You miss them, right?
This was very good. Next time I'll bring salad.
Yeah, next time we have salad, man.
Yeah, fuck you.
One last word, we are launching our YouTube channel, so if you want to see more of these videos, we're going to be publishing one video per week. So you can, like this video and subscribe. That means a lot for us. We're working hard to publish both entertaining and educative content. Don't hesitate to subscribe, and see you next week.
And by June.
And by June.